The Michigan Man Podcast, episode 116. This is the Michigan Man Podcast on GBMW Go Blue Michigan Wolverine for Wolverine fans from coast to coast. Go Blue and welcome to this week's show. I'm your host, Mike Fitzpatrick. In just a couple of weeks, the Wolverines will begin preparations for the upcoming season. Earlier this month, the Wolverine published its 2012 preview issue, and as usual, it is chock full of feature stories and information to whet the appetite of Michigan diehards as we count down the days to September 1st and the season-opening showdown with defending national champion Alabama. On today's Michigan Insider segment, we're going to be joined by Wolverine staff writer Andy Reid. In the Wolverine preseason issue, Andy penned an article taking a look at the players, games, and teams to watch this fall. It was good stuff, so I asked Andy to join us so we can get his take on the players, games, and question marks that will have the biggest impact on the 2012 season. Before we get to that, let's kick things off as we do each week with our review from Section 17, a look at headlines of interest to Wolverine fans from coast to coast. Last week, the Michigan Athletic Department announced 2012 ticket plans for the 4 game packages and the sale of individual tickets for the upcoming season. Season ticket holders should be receiving their packets sometime in the next week or so. The preseason watch lists have been released, and several Wolverines have received early mention. They include senior safety Jordan Kovacs, junior offensive tackle Taylor Lewan, and senior kicker Brendan Gibbons. Last week, the athletic department also updated the non-conference schedules for the 2014 through 2016 seasons. We'll have more on all of these stories coming up later in the show on Wolverine Quick Hits. Coming up next, though, is part 1 of our interview with staff writer Andy Reid from the Wolverine Magazine, right here on the Michigan Man Podcast on GBMW Go Blue Michigan Wolverine. Joining us on our Michigan Insider segment today is staff writer Andy Reid from the Wolverine. Andy's a busy guy on vacation this week and was gracious enough to take some time to talk a little Michigan football with us. So, Andy, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, we all got our preseason issue last week, Andy, and as usual, it was outstanding. I think it gets better and better every year. You guys do a great job.
Yeah, thanks. We're really happy with it. I think it turned out great.
Well, it did, and there was an article, Andy, that caught my attention that you wrote, 2012 season preview, a quick look at the players, games, and the teams to watch this fall. So I thought we could talk about that, and hopefully most of our listeners subscribe to the Wolverine, but I wanted to get your take on all of these top 5 type of categories that you had in that feature article. The first thing you took a look at were the top 5 players for the Wolverines this year, and to no one's surprise, number 1 is quarterback Denard Robinson.
He's such an electrifying player, and he's such a part of everything that Michigan is going to be on offense. You have a top 5 players list without putting him at the top. That being said, obviously, he's got some things to work on. He threw 258 passes last year and had 15 interceptions. That's just not good enough. We've heard over and over again that he's getting better and better at that, so there's a lot of reasons to be excited to see him perform this year.
And one of those reasons is something we've heard a lot about in the last year, too, is that year 2 in Coach Borges' offense, most of his quarterbacks in the past have really, really taken a big step forward.
Yeah, he's got to focus on footwork, and I know he has been working very closely with Borges in order to do that. The more he starts to pick up the offense, the more he comes in tune with the things that Borges wants. They're just going to be able to, be that much more efficient. So I think he's going to show some things that he hasn't been able to in his career so far.
Well, an easy choice for the number one of the top 5 players. Number 2 is redshirt junior running back Fitzgerald Toussaint, who we all expect to have another big year.
I talked to Fred Jackson, the running backs coach for this preview issue, and he said before last season he would look at Fitzgerald and see maybe he didn't have any concept of field vision at all, but you could see that the way that built from the beginning of the year to the end, and that Purdue game really stands out as one where things just clicked for him. He's seeing the field much better. He's using his athletic ability to enhance that. He can anticipate what he needs to cut, and it's just really fun to watch a player grow into his position as he has this year and into 2012.
Well, number 3 on the list of top 5 players, Andy, is redshirt junior left tackle Taylor Lewan. Maybe his last year here. I don't know if he has a great year, but how important is he?
He's everything. I mean, you want your left tackle to be the best player on the field, and he is. You know, he's gonna protect Denard. He's gonna make holes for the run game, and he's gonna do it really aggressively. He never backs down from a challenge. So, he's a special talent, and the Wolverines are definitely going to use that in 2012.
Number 4 on the list is a guy who 2 years ago I would have never expected to see on the list of Michigan's top 5 players any season, but he has impressed me, and I think all of us Michigan fans, and that's senior strong safety Jordan Kovacs.
Yeah, I mean, he went from a guy that was a nice story, to see somebody like him, a walk-on, make the starting lineup, to one of the most technically proficient players in the Big Ten. He knows what he's doing. He's never going to miss an assignment. Obviously, he's not the most athletic guy on the field, but he makes up with that with hard work and just being so good at knowing the defensive scheme and breaking down the offense. He's such a leader, and the Wolverines are lucky to have somebody like him.
Very lucky. And the thing that I enjoy most now, Andy, about watching Jordan is, and coaches just love this, and there are a couple of coaches that sit around me at games and they say this, they love the fact that Jordan Kovacs is always where he is supposed to be on the field.
Exactly. That's such, in a secondary that's still growing, that's such an asset to have because these younger guys are learning from him. Somebody like Blake Countess, even though it's a different position, he's seeing the way that Jordan attacks the game, and they're all learning from him and picking up those same characteristics.
Well, number 5 on our list of top 5 players, and your list of top 5 players, is a guy who I just love watching. His motor is always running. Redshirt sophomore outside linebacker Jake Ryan.
Yeah, I think for my list, this was kind of a wild card pick. He doesn't have the biggest body of work on the team yet, but he just flies. Unlike Kovacs, he might find himself out of position sometimes, but he makes up for it with supreme motor and athletic ability. He's another player that I think you're going to see grow into the position that he's playing and really become a dangerous threat there.
Yeah, I think all of us are looking for a big year from Jake. Again, he's just one of those guys that is fun to watch. And you're right, sometimes he is out of position, but he's a very aggressive young guy. Our guest on the show today on our Michigan Insider segment is staff writer Andy Reid from the Wolverine. And as I mentioned at the top of the interview, Andy did a very interesting piece in our preview issue. So we're going over some of these interesting top 5 groups that Andy put together. The next one that I found fascinating was 5 players to watch. And at the top of the list really is a player that we have to keep an eye on this year, and that's Ricky Barnum. What a big transition he has this year.
Yeah, and not only is he switching positions, but he's filling in for a special talent in David Molk. It's going to be tough to replace the Remington Award winner any season, and to do it with a guy that hasn't really played center, it just adds another challenge. Ricky is smart. He's picking up the position, and I think there's going to be some promising things from him. It's such an important position. He's got to be the leader on the offense. He's got to know what everybody else is doing as well, and I think he's stepping up to the challenge. He had a nice spring, and he's working hard this summer to make sure that Michigan doesn't have a talent drop in the center position.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the fascinating things to watch starting on September 1st down in Dallas against Alabama.
Yeah, I talk about trial by fire.
Yeah.
These guys, there's several, Barnum on the offensive line, several guys on the defensive line that are going to get thrown right into it against Alabama. And we will know a lot more about them after that game,
yes,
for sure.
We certainly will. Number 2 on our list of 5 players to watch is a young guy who a lot of us have been waiting for the light bulb to go on for the last 3 years, and maybe unfairly, but senior tackle Will Campbell.
Yeah, it's his last go-around, and it sounds like everything's going really well on the field side of things. He's starting to understand how important pad level and technique and those things are, and you're seeing gains in those areas. Obviously he had a little run-in with authorities when he tried to slide over a car. I really don't think that's a big deal. I think he's going to be ready not only to be a player on the field, but a leader on the team. Yeah, I'm excited to watch how he progresses. He's been somebody that has something in him from a player perspective, and he's just been waiting for that to come out, and he's getting so much focus from Coach Hope, Coach Madison, and Jerry Montgomery, the defensive line coach, that I think he's finally going to kind of come out of that shell.
Well, number 3 on the list, Andy, was someone I found interesting. I didn't know he'd possibly pop up on any of these top 5 lists, but freshman linebacker Joe Bolden, who was an early enrollee, I think, and had a pretty impressive spring, didn't he? Yeah.
One story I heard while we were putting this thing together was they were in the midst of spring practice. Taylor Lewan came off the edge, and he was looking for somebody to hit, and the little freshman was right in front of him, and he ran at him, and Bolden didn't back down. He smacked him back. Yeah, he got run over, but he didn't back down from the challenge. They get up, and Lewan looks at him and says, "When you see me coming, I'm the senior. You can't hit me like that." And Bolden looks back at him and says, I'm not letting up. I'm not going to be the one to do that." And Madison just loves that kind of stuff. He's a hard worker. He's going to be a guy that is going to continuously learn throughout the year. But he's got such great athletic ability that he might be able to see some field time.
Well, number 4 on the list of the 5 players to watch is a redshirt junior, free safety, Thomas Gordon, and we need a big season from him, don't we?
Yeah. He's a guy that showed some really great things last year. There was times when he kind of took a step back. I think he is starting to really pick up the position. That's going to be such a big development point in the secondary to see where he goes. And I think he's got the smarts and the athletic skill set to really continue to progress.
He's another one of those guys, Andy, you watch him, albeit in warm-ups and then what action that we've seen him in. He just looks so athletic that you're waiting for it to sort of all come together for him.
Yeah, well, you saw what kind of athlete he was in that Eastern Michigan game when he just snagged that one-handed interception out of the air like it wasn't anything.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
So he's got the skill set. Once everything comes together, I think he's going to be a good one back there.
Number 5 on the list of 5 players to watch was one I found an interesting choice. 5th-year senior tight end Brandon Moore. Tell us why you put him there.
The tight end is an important position. Koger kind of fit that mold last year, and he was able to add something. Moore hasn't really done a whole lot in his career, and they're trying to find a piece of the puzzle with the tight end. If Moore can step up and you can have a senior leader be that guy that adds that production from that position, that's great. But he still has a lot of things to work on before he gets to that point.
Our guest on the show today is Andy Reid here on our Michigan Insider segment. As a lot of us know, the Wolverine preview issue came out last week, and I've been devouring it. And Andy wrote a very interesting article, Top 5 Players, Top 5 Games, in a preview of the players, games, and teams to watch this fall. So we're sort of picking Andy's brain and getting his take on some of these things. Andy, let's move over to Top 5 Games. The top of everyone's list is Labor Day weekend, September 1st, down in Alabama. How big is that game?
It's huge. It's no secret that Michigan hasn't been Michigan for the last, for a little while here in the 2000s. You can take that stage down in Dallas and beat the defending national champions. It's just a notice to everybody in the country. Michigan is back, and it's going to be tough, but not undoable, or it's not impossible. Alabama is replacing a lot of veteran talent. They're going to be inexperienced, and no matter how good some of these players are, nothing really tops experience. So I don't count Michigan out of that game, but it's going to be a major uphill battle.
Number 2 is a game I think all of us are looking forward to for a lot of obvious reasons. It's October 20th, biggest home game this year. The Spartans coming into town. Yeah,
it seems like putting that game in importance over Ohio State would be blasphemous, but this year it's huge. These two teams are probably going to meet for the Leaders Division Championship. Michigan hasn't beaten them in 4 years. Polk wants to, establish himself within that rivalry. It's an enormous game. It might go down as one of the biggest in the Michigan State history.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you. I was talking to some fans about this a couple of weeks ago, and that's what I said. When is the last time you've heard a Michigan fan say or ask this question, what is a bigger game in a given season, the Michigan State game or the Ohio State game? I think this year you have to say Michigan State.
Yeah, and I think that speaks to the job Mark D'Antonio has done there. Michigan fans have a lot of opinions on him, but one thing that's not debatable is that he has done a great job. And it's going to be fun to watch the way that this rivalry continues to change as Hope builds his program as well.
Well, number 3 on the list of the top 5 games, Andy, is November 24th, Thanksgiving Day weekend, down in Columbus against the Ohio State Buckeyes in what is, in essence, their bowl game.
Yeah, that's what they're playing for at that point, is to beat Michigan. Michigan might have some other things on their plate, including a Big Ten championship. Who knows? But this is the start of something special. This, Brady Hope, Urban Meyer, it's going to be an incredible couple of years, however long these two face off against each other. And this is the start of it. So it's important to, get that foothold in year one.
For a lot of reasons, for making it 2 in a row against the Bucks, and very importantly, in the recruiting wars, the way things are shaping up with Coach Meyer and Coach Hoke, they're basically recruiting the same areas, so a win goes a long way in the recruiting battles.
Absolutely.
Number 4 is November 27th down at Nebraska. And, of course, you look at the home record for the Nebraska Cornhuskers over the years, they don't lose very often down there, do they?
No, I did a story on them entering the Big Ten last year, and I can't remember the exact stat, but since 1965, they have won an incredible amount of home games and have a great winning percentage. That's a tough place to play. Add to the fact that it's going to be a night game, and Michigan, rocked them pretty good last year. They're going to be ready to play. This is another game that it might go decide the Leaders Division. So it's a huge game, and Michigan has to be ready to play. There were some times last year where they suffered on the road. They didn't seem to click as well. So they've got to get up for that one.
No, absolutely, and that is going to be tough to say the least. Number 5 on the list of top 5 games is September 22nd, down in South Bend against the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, a team that, of course, we've beaten, 3 years in a row now in nail-biters. And you look at the talent on that team, and you think, you want to go down to South Bend and win again, but you sort of wonder, is it going to be their time?
Yeah, they might be a year away from really putting it together. But if Kelly finds a quarterback that clicks, that's going to be a dangerous team. And like you said, 3 years in a row, the way I can't remember another rivalry game where one team won in the last minute 3 straight years. It's just an incredible story, and I can't imagine how focused and excited Fighting Irish are going to be for that one. So it's going to be a fun one to watch. Another night game.
No, absolutely. That one will be off the charts. And, you talk about the last 3 years, what incredibly exciting, nail-biting games they've been. But, every year when Notre Dame and Michigan get together that week, they talk about the series since it was renewed in the 70s and the average score, the average difference in those games. This has to be one of the tightest series in college football over the last 30 years. There have been a few blowouts and a few comfortable wins, but overall, these games are historically very, very close.
Yeah, it's always a fun game to watch. It's always been that way. It's going to be great.
Thanks again to our special guest today, staff writer Andy Reid from the Wolverine. That was part 1 of our interview. Andy will be back with us as we resume regular programming for part 2 of the interview. That will be on Wednesday, August the 1st, so don't miss that. Coming up next, we wrap it up for another week with Wolverine Quick Hits, right here on the Michigan Man podcast on GBMW Go Blue, Michigan Wolverine. On Wolverine Quick Hits today, the University of Michigan Athletic Department announced its 4-game ticket package and the sale of individual tickets for the upcoming season. Fans who would like to buy the 4-game package will reserve tickets to see Michigan State October 20th and UMass September 15th. Fans will also be able to choose 2 of the 4 remaining home games to complete the package. The 4 other dates which customers will be able to choose from are Air Force September 8th, Illinois October 13th, Northwestern November 10th, and Iowa November 17th. The 4-game pack will cost $350 plus a $30 order charge. Fans are limited to 4 packs. Additionally, individual tickets will be available for the Air Force, UMass, Northwestern, and Iowa games. They will cost $75 per ticket. Individual tickets will not be available for the Michigan State or Illinois games. Victor's Club members will have top priority for ticket packs beginning Tuesday, July 24th, followed by season ticket holders on July 26th. Any remaining tickets will be on sale for the general public starting Monday, July 30th. University of Michigan senior safety Jordan Kovacs and junior offensive tackle Taylor Lewan each have been named to 2012 awards watch lists. Kovacs is one of 84 players on the Bronco Nagurski Trophy watch list, awarded to the nation's best defensive player, while Lewan is one of 71 players named to the Outland Trophy watch list, awarded to the best interior lineman in college football. Each award is voted on by the Football Writers Association of America. In 2011, Kovacs started 12 games and had 75 tackles, 8 for losses, 4 sacks, 1 interception, 2 forced fumbles, and 1 fumble recovery for a Wolverine squad that finished with an 11-2 record and defeated Virginia Tech 23-20 in overtime in the All-State Sugar Bowl. He has totaled 266 tackles, 21 for losses, 5 sacks, 4 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, and 3 pass breakups in his career. Lewan has started 22 career games at left tackle, including all 13 last season. He earned all Big Ten second-team honors by the conference coaches last season. He also was named to Phil Steele's 2012 preseason All-Big Ten first team and All-America third team. Lewan was part of a Wolverine offensive line last season that allowed just 18 sacks, third best in the Big Ten. The line also helped the Wolverines rush for 221.8 yards per game, second in the Big Ten and 13th in the nation, and produced 2 1,000-yard rushers, Denard Robinson and Fitzgerald Toussaint. The FWAA and the Charlotte Touchdown Club will announce 5 finalists for the Bronco Nagurski Trophy on November 15th, and the annual Bronco Nagurski Trophy Banquet, presented by ACN, will be December 3rd at the Westin Hotel in Charlotte, North Carolina. The Outland Trophy winner is chosen from 3 finalists who are part of the FWAA All-America team, and the winner will be announced at the Home Depot College Football Awards on December 6th on ESPN. In other watch list news, senior place kicker Brendan Gibbons has been named as one of 30 players to the 2012 Lou Groza Collegiate Place Kicker Award watch list. 6 other Big Ten kickers were named to the list. Gibbons hit 13 of 17 field goal attempts, 76.5%, and 54 of 55 point-after attempts, 98.2%, in 2011. He converted all 3 field goal attempts, including a 37-yard game winner in the Wolverines' 23-20 overtime victory against Virginia Tech in the All-State Sugar Bowl. Gibbons also hit a career-long 43-yard field goal with 1:59 remaining against Ohio State to give U of M its final points in the team's 40-34 victory. Semifinalists for the 21st annual Lou Groza Collegiate Place Kicker Award will be released November 5th, and 3 finalists will be named on November 19th. The winner will be named on December 6th as part of the Home Depot ESPNU College Football Awards Show in Orlando, Florida. The University of Michigan Athletic Department announced last week updates to the non-conference schedules for the 2014 through 2016 football seasons and the future schedule with Notre Dame. The Wolverines will play a nationally competitive non-conference slate facing teams from the Pacific 10, Mountain West, and Mid-American conferences, as well as independent Notre Dame. Michigan will play 3 of its 4 non-conference games at Michigan Stadium in 2014. The Wolverines will open the season against Appalachian State at the Big House on August 30th, before traveling to Notre Dame in the second week of the season, September 6th. U of M will host Miami of Ohio on September 13th, before finishing the non-conference slate September 20th with the front end of a home-and-home with Utah. In 2015, the Wolverines will face the Utes on a Thursday night, September 3rd, in Salt Lake City, Utah. This will be the first college football game of the 2015 season and the first time in school history that U of M will play a Thursday night football game during the regular season. Following the trip to the West, Michigan will return to Ann Arbor for 3 straight home games: Notre Dame September 12th, Oregon State September 19th, and UNLV September 26th. The 2016 season schedule is half complete, with an agreement to face Colorado at the Big House on September 17th. This game will be played 1 week after a trip to Notre Dame on September 10th. The Wolverines have openings for home games on September 13th and September 24th of that 2016 season. In addition, Michigan and Notre Dame will take a 2-year hiatus in their long-standing rivalry during the 2018 and 2019 seasons. Both schools intend to resume the rivalry in the years following. Don't forget to become a member here at GBMW. Visit www.gbmwolverine.com and sign up for membership today. Benefits include daily email reminders when a story is published or a mailbag question is answered. You also need to become a member for full participation on our always interesting message board. As a member here on GBMW, you can also take part in our popular Monday Night Live chat with E-Rock Wolverine, Coach BT, Maze Man, Doc for Blue, World's Wolverine, and our hockey guru, Jostmeister. The Monday Night Live chat will be making its return in August when fall practice gets underway. Until then, check us out daily for Coach's Corner and profile articles on your favorite Wolverine players. So join GBMW today and get your daily Maize and Blue fix of news and conversation. Visit www.gbmwolverine.com and sign up for membership today. Then each Wednesday, you can listen to the Michigan Man podcast. The show is now available as an Android app, which can be purchased from the Android App Store at Amazon.com. If, however, you are an Apple person, you will find our app in the iTunes App Store. If you listen to the show on your Apple device, please take a minute to give the show a review. It really does help us a lot. Our listener lines are open 24/7. If you would like to call and leave a comment we can use on an upcoming show, our number is 313-263-4842. That's 313-263-4842. Whatever's on your mind this upcoming football season, basketball, recruiting, hockey, just give us a call, state your name, tell us where you're calling from, and then give us your 2 cents worth. If you would rather not leave a voicemail, but still have a comment or suggestion for the show, just email us at the Michigan Man Podcast at yahoo.com. That's the Michigan Man Podcast at yahoo.com. You can find our contact information on our show notes page. I welcome your thoughts and opinions on anything maize and blue. Thanks again to our guest today, staff writer Andy Reid from the Wolverine Magazine. Andy will be back with us on August 1st as we return to weekly programming in anticipation of the upcoming season. Thanks again to all of our listeners around the country, and especially to our service men and women in Afghanistan who listen to the show via the Armed Forces Internet Service. We appreciate the kind words you send to us and are pleased to be able to bring you news of your Wolverines wherever you are. Don't forget to tell your friends about the show, and again, if you get the show from iTunes, please give us a review. So until Wednesday, August 1st, and the resumption of weekly programming, I'm your host, Mike Fitzpatrick. Enjoy what's left of summer, take care, and as always, go blue. Thanks for listening to the Michigan Man podcast on GBMW Go Blue Michigan Wolverine. You can find us on the web at www.gbmwolverine.com. That's www.gbmwolverine.com. For audio posts or other fan feedback, please call our listener line at 313-263-4842. That's 313-263-4842. Email fan feedback to the Michigan Man Podcast at yahoo.com. That's the Michigan Man Podcast at yahoo.com. The Michigan Man Podcast on GBMW Go Blue Michigan Wolverine is produced at the studios of Robin Lynn Productions, Allen Park, Michigan. The Michigan Man Podcast is not affiliated with the University of Michigan. Go Blue!